There is a part of you that almost no one sees, the version that lies awake at night, replaying the same scenes and quietly asking, why do I keep ending up here? Even when life looks fine from the outside, that inner part feels an invisible force pulling you back every time you try to move forward. My name is Alexander, and in this moment I want to speak to that part of you, the one that is tired of feeling stuck without understanding why. Writers like Dr. Joseph Murphy, Neville Goddard, and Maxwell Maltz spent their lives exploring this why. They used different language, but their message was the same. You are not living what you simply wish for. You are living what your subconscious mind has accepted as true. Not the dream you talk about when you're inspired, but the quiet beliefs that live underneath your reactions, your habits, your self-image. Joseph Murphy described the subconscious as fertile soil that never argues. It simply accepts the seeds you plant in it, the thoughts, words, and images you repeat with feeling, and quietly grows a life to match. Neville Goddard said your world bends around the feelings and inner pictures you live in most often. Maxwell Maltz showed that once your brain accepts a certain self-image, it begins to adjust everything to stay loyal to that picture, even when it hurts you. Put together, they are saying this: if deep down you believe you are the one who fails, if you feel unlovable, your subconscious will keep guiding you back into situations that prove those beliefs right. So when you say, I want to change, but nothing really changes, it is rarely because you are lazy or broken. It is usually because underneath, another voice has been saying for years, this is who we are. This is how far we go. This is what we deserve. And your subconscious, loyal and unquestioning, has been obeying. Think about your childhood for a moment. Not every detail, just the feeling of it. How did the adults around you speak about money, stress, failure, love? What did they say about people like you? How did they react when you made mistakes or showed your real feelings? Each sentence, each sigh, each silence was a seed. You'll never be enough. People like us don't get that kind of life. You didn't sit there as a child and logically agree. You simply absorbed. A child's subconscious is wide open. It doesn't know how to question. It just thinks, if the people I depend on talk like this, it must be true. So without your conscious permission, an inner world was built. Different thinkers give different names to what you feel now. Old ideas turning into habits, old states of feeling repeating, an outdated self-image still in control. But the truth is simple. You are already programming your subconscious. You've been doing it for years. Every time you call yourself stupid, every time you replay the same painful memory until your chest tightens, every time you say, that's just who I am, even though it hurts you, you are giving your subconscious an instruction. Keep this. Build more of this. Organize our life around this. And it listens. But there is a hidden mercy in that. If your subconscious is obedient enough to build you a prison from painful beliefs, it is also obedient enough to build you a new life from different beliefs. The same mechanism that kept you stuck is the one that can set you free. In the next parts, we will talk about how to give it new instructions, using what these authors actually taught: inner suggestion, imagination, self-image, feeling. But this first part is not about forcing positive thinking on top of wounds. It's about finally seeing the program that is already running. So I want to leave you with one honest question. If my current life is a mirror of what my subconscious believes, what must it secretly think is true about me? Not what you wish it believed, what it behaves as if it believes. If you stay where you are disrespected, maybe the belief is, this is all I can get. If you keep circling the same emotional place, maybe the belief is, this is my level, I cannot go beyond it. You did not choose most of those beliefs. They came from wounded people, fearful people, confused people. But now that you can see them, you have a choice. Keep feeding the same soil with the same poison. Or admit, maybe for the first time, that your inner world is programmable and you are no longer a helpless child in front of it. Tonight, don't try to change everything yet, just pay attention. And once you see it clearly, you will never again be able to tell yourself, this is just fate. You will know, this is programming. And with time, patience, and the right tools, I can change it. There is another layer to this that most people never see. It's not only what your subconscious believes about life that shapes you, it's what it believes about you. The authors we're walking with, Joseph Murphy, Neville Goddard, Maxwell Maltz, all point to the same hidden engine. You are moving through the world with an inner image of who you are. That self-image lives in your subconscious. Most of your life is your attempt, without realizing it, to stay faithful to that image. Maltz called this your self-image, the quiet picture of the kind of person I am. Murphy would say your subconscious expresses whatever idea you repeatedly accept as true. Neville would say you are always acting from a certain state, and that state is your real identity in that moment. If the inner picture is, I am the one who messes things up, you will feel strangely unsafe when things start going well. You might stall, procrastinate, pick a fight, or disappear, not because you consciously want to lose, but because success doesn't match the picture your subconscious is holding. If the inner picture is, I am not worthy of love, every healthy affection will feel suspicious. You will overthink simple messages, expect rejection, stay where you are mistreated, or push away anyone who treats you with genuine respect. Deep down, the subconscious whispers, this is not familiar, go back to what we know. Maltz noticed something strange in his patients. People who had surgery to change their faces still felt ugly. People who finally got the external success they wanted still walked and shrank like the old version of themselves. Their life did not truly change until their inner picture changed. Changing the outside without changing the inside is like repainting the walls of a prison cell. The color is different, but the bars are still there. Murphy adds another angle. If you keep impressing your subconscious with the idea, I am broken, I am unlucky, I am not enough, it will quietly arrange your habits and reactions to stay loyal to that belief. Neville would ask you, when you imagine yourself in the future, what is the feeling you carry? Do you feel chosen or left out? Capable or small? Welcome in the room or out of place? That feeling is the state you live from. That state, not the words you post, is what your subconscious serves. So begin to notice your self-image not as an abstract concept, but as a living script you act from every day. When someone compliments you, what is your first inner response? Thank you, or they don't mean it. When an opportunity appears, do you lean in or automatically think they'll pick someone better? When you look in the mirror on a hard day, do you see someone you are willing to care for or someone you criticize and abandon in your own mind? These are not just moods, They are evidence. They reveal the I am sentences your subconscious has accepted. I am the one who always ends up alone. I am the one who has to fight for every scrap. I am the one who never finishes anything. I am the one people always leave. If these identities stay untouched, they will quietly cancel out almost every surface-level effort you make. This is why willpower feels so exhausting. It's like trying to walk north while the autopilot in your chest is still set to south. You can force yourself for a while, have a few heroic weeks, but unless the setting changes, you drift back. Murphy, Neville, and Maltz all invite you to the same turning point. Begin to offer your subconscious a different picture of you, not a childish fantasy. Not, I am perfect, I never fail, I am above everyone else. Your subconscious will reject those because they feel fake. What it can accept is a picture that is both higher and believable. I am someone who can learn. I am someone who comes back after falling. I am someone who is worthy of basic respect. I am someone who can slowly build a different life. Neville would say, step into that state for a moment, not as a dream, but as if it were already true. How would this version of you stand? How would they speak to themselves after a mistake? How would they respond to a small opportunity? Murphy would tell you, gently repeat these better I am ideas, especially when your mind is quiet, as you fall asleep, as you wake up. The subconscious is most open in those borderlands. Maltz would encourage you to rehearse this new self-image the way an athlete rehearses a movement. See yourself acting like this person until your nervous system begins to relax into it. In the next part, we will turn this into clear, daily practices. For now, become a witness. Notice your I am sentences. Notice how often they are cruel. Notice how many of them were never really yours to begin with. Because the day you see your self-image clearly is the day you stop confusing your old programming with your true potential. Even if you do everything right from the last part, the sentences, the inner scene, the small actions, your outside life will not instantly match your new inner work. For a while, you will live in a strange in-between. On the surface, things will still look familiar. Old problems will knock on your door. Old emotions will rise like reflexes. Inside, however, something real has begun. You are no longer fully agreeing with the old story. Joseph Murphy warned that when you plant a new idea in the subconscious, the old one often fights for its life. Doubt, fear, and habit can get louder at the beginning, not because you are failing, but because the previous truth feels threatened. Neville described this as the pull of the old state. You step for a moment into the feeling of being worthy and capable, and then life throws something at you and you feel yourself slipping back into nothing ever works for me. Maltz saw it in his patients too. Someone would start acting with more confidence, then one awkward moment would happen and the old self-image would rush back, whispering, "See, you were stupid to even try." If you don't understand this, you will abandon the process right when it begins to work. So part 4 is about something the books all agree on. You must give your subconscious time, consistency, and proof. Time, because you are not just changing a thought, you are reshaping years of emotional memory. Consistency, because the subconscious learns from what you repeat, not what you do once. Proof, because your nervous system relaxes into the new self-image when it sees even small evidence that it is safe. Murphy would say, keep repeating your new ideas calmly, especially in relaxed states, even when nothing seems to happen. The seed is in the ground. You don't dig it up every day to check. Neville would say, keep returning to your inner scene, especially when reality contradicts it. You are not using imagination to escape reality, but to give your subconscious a blueprint that reality can grow into. Maltz would say, treat each relapse as feedback, not proof that you are broken. When you notice yourself acting from the old self-image, don't curse yourself. Notice it, stop, and use it as a chance to rehearse the new response again. This is where many people quit, not because the method is weak, but because they interpret resistance as a sign nothing is happening. So I want you to change the way you read your own setbacks. When an old reaction appears, instead of thinking, see, I haven't changed at all, tell yourself, this is an old program firing. This time, I can answer it differently. When you catch yourself saying, I'm so stupid, don't drown in shame. Pause, breathe, and gently add, no, I'm learning. I don't speak to myself like that anymore. When you feel that familiar fear saying, don't try, you'll fail, don't wait for it to disappear. Take one tiny step anyway, even with the fear present. Every time you do that, you send two messages at once. To your subconscious, the old identity is no longer in charge. To your nervous system, we can survive this new behavior. This matters because some of your old programming is tied to real pain. Times you were punished for speaking, abandoned when you needed help, loved only when you performed. Your subconscious quietly linked honesty with danger, vulnerability with humiliation, rest with worthlessness. You are not just changing ideas, you are healing associations. Speak to your subconscious as if to a frightened child. It is safe for me to grow now. It is safe for me to speak. It is safe for me to receive. Imagine short scenes where you act in ways that once terrified you, saying no, being yourself, walking away from disrespect, and feel in that inner world that you are held and okay. Remember that every new action is a kind of emotional surgery. It might sting, it might feel raw, but it is removing something that was slowly poisoning you. So be patient with yourself. You are not failing because you still feel resistance. You are rewiring a living system. In this stage, your job is not to be perfect. Your job is to stay in the process. Keep speaking kinder I am sentences. Keep visiting your inner scene. Keep taking small actions that match your new self-image. The old program will not leave quietly, but it cannot survive if you stop feeding it. Every time you notice it and choose even one new thought, one new response, one new posture, you weaken its hold and strengthen the new pattern. In the next part, we'll talk about turning this into a way of life. Not just a 30-day experiment, but a new relationship with your subconscious mind. For now, remember this: you are allowed to be a work in progress and still speak to yourself like someone worth becoming. Change has a way of exposing what has been living inside you all along. The moment you start offering your subconscious a new picture, life doesn't suddenly become peaceful. Often the opposite happens. Old triggers get louder, old habits flare up, old emotions rush back as if they refuse to die quietly. If you don't understand this, you'll think, I'm doing all this inner work and I feel worse. Something's wrong with me. But Joseph Murphy, Neville Goddard, and Maxwell Maltz would all tell you the same thing. This is not proof you are failing. This is proof you have touched the wiring. Murphy explains that when a new idea is impressed on the subconscious, the old idea may protest. It has years of repetition behind it. Doubt is not a sign that nothing is happening. It is often a sign that something is being challenged. Neville often spoke about the pull of the old state. You step into a new inner feeling, more worthy, more capable, more loved. And then reality presents you with a situation perfectly designed to tempt you back into the old feeling of, I am not enough. The test is not in the event. It is in the state you decide to return to afterwards. Maltz saw this with self-image. A person practices acting with more confidence. Then one awkward moment happens, and the old identity rushes in, whispering, "See, you were stupid to try. Go back to hiding." When they believe that voice, the new self-image never has a chance to stabilize. So this part is about what you do when your nervous system is shaking. When an old reaction appears, don't rush to the conclusion, nothing has changed. Notice what is actually happening. An old program just fired. This time, you are awake enough to see it. That awareness alone is already different. Before, the program ran you. Now, even for a second, you can observe it. Murphy would invite you in that moment to quietly contradict the old command. When your mind shouts, "I'm useless," you don't need to argue for an hour. You can softly answer, "No, I am learning. I am changing how I speak to myself now." The subconscious hears both, but repetition and calm will strengthen the new voice. Neville would ask you, which feeling are you going to inhabit after this passes? The familiar despair, or the new state you have started to taste at night in your inner scene? You may still cry, you may still shake, but after the wave, you can gently return in imagination to the version of you who survives this moment and grows from it. Maltz would remind you to treat each setback like practice, not a verdict. A musician doesn't quit because one note was wrong. They repeat until the new movement feels natural. You are doing the same with your self-image. To support yourself here, make a simple agreement. When I notice the old script, I will not attack myself for it. I will name it, neutralize it, and nudge myself back toward the new pattern. Name it. This is my old belief about being unworthy. It's speaking again. Neutralize it. I don't have to obey this thought. It's familiar, but it's not the truth anymore. Nudge yourself. Take one tiny action that belongs to the new identity, even if your feelings haven't caught up. It might be sending the message you want to avoid. It might be stepping away from someone who talks to you like you're nothing. It might be going for the walk you promised yourself when your mind says, "What's the point?" Every time you do this, you give your subconscious proof that you don't die when you act differently, proof that the world doesn't end when you say no, proof that your body can survive the discomfort of change. Some of your deepest programming is tied to old survival strategies. Times when being quiet was safer than speaking, when staying small was safer than standing out. You are not weak for feeling fear. You are carrying history. So speak to that fear as you would to a child who has seen too much. I know you're trying to protect me, but we are not in that place anymore. It's safe to take one step. It's safe to think a kinder thought. It's safe to imagine something better. This work is not clean. You will have strong days and weak days, clear days and foggy days. The subconscious doesn't need you to be perfect. It needs you to be persistent. Keep repeating the new I am. Keep visiting the inner scene where you are a little freer. Keep taking small actions that honor that version of you. Each time you do, you are making a quiet announcement inside. The old story is not my master anymore. It may speak, but it doesn't get the final word. In the final part, we'll gather everything into a simple way of living. Not a 30-day trick, but a long-term relationship with your subconscious mind, where you and this deeper part of you are finally on the same side. By now, you've seen what most people never realize. Your days are not random. They echo what your subconscious has been quietly believing about you for years. You've seen that your inner world is like soil, that images and feelings become blueprints, that a self-image sits behind almost everything you do. This last part is not about more ideas. It's about how you walk through an ordinary day when you know this. Picture tomorrow morning. The alarm goes off. For a few seconds, you're just breath and light. This is the moment most people give straight to their phone. But you know now, your subconscious is listening, especially when you are still half inside sleep. So instead of grabbing a screen, you sit for a moment on the edge of your bed, feet on the floor, hand on your chest. You remember, I've been programming this mind my whole life. Today, I choose to do it on purpose. You give it one simple sentence, like a seed. Today, I am learning to treat myself with respect. Or, today, I take one honest step forward. You don't try to force belief. You just point the inner engine in a direction. Then the day starts to push back. Someone is rude. A memory stings. You see yourself in a mirror and flinch. Almost automatically, the old program wakes up. I'm stupid. Of course this happens to me. In the past, you would have followed that voice without question. Now you recognize it. This is not fate. It is habit. You pause. One breath. You hear the sentence fully. And instead of letting it sink in, you quietly rewrite it. I made a mistake. I'm still learning. Today doesn't have to repeat every other day. The feeling might not change right away. That's all right. You're not flipping a switch. You're showing your subconscious that the script is changing. Every time you refuse to insult yourself the same way, you loosen the grip of the old identity. All through the day, you get small chances to act as the new you you've been rehearsing. The message you're avoiding. The task you want to quit. The invitation that feels slightly bigger than your usual life. You pause and ask, how would the version of me from my inner scene respond? Not the perfect you, just the one who stands a little straighter, finishes what they start, or walks away from what wounds them. Then you do the smallest version of that. You send the message. You give it 10 more minutes. You say no once. Outside, it looks like nothing. Inside, your subconscious is gathering evidence. We survived that. We can be this person. By night, you are tired in a different way. Not just from surviving the day, but from choosing again and again not to collapse completely into the old story. This is usually the hour where people numb themselves and fall asleep in worry and noise. You decide to end the day differently. The room is dim. You lie down. Before the scroll, you take back a few minutes that belong to you. This is your final meeting with the part of you that will keep working while you sleep. You repeat your sentence from the morning, slower now, like you're talking to someone you care about. I am learning to see my worth. I am becoming someone who finishes. Then you bring back that short inner scene from before, the one where you are already a little freer. You see yourself as the person this sentence belongs to. You don't force emotion. You just let your body feel, for a few seconds, this could really be me. you fall asleep in that feeling instead of the old fear. On the outside, nothing spectacular has happened. No lightning bolt, no perfect day. But inside, something important has changed. You are no longer leaving your subconscious alone with the harshest voices. You are in relationship with it. You are training it, gently but consistently. You will forget some mornings. You will drown in an old reaction some afternoons. You will fall asleep with your phone in your hand some nights. That doesn't erase what you are building. The point is not perfection. The point is that more often than before, you remember to come back. One day, in a moment that looks small from the outside, you will notice that you responded as someone else. You didn't chase the person walking away. You didn't tear yourself apart for a mistake. You didn't sabotage the good thing as soon as it appeared. A quiet thought will rise. This isn't how I used to be. Something in me has really changed. That will be your proof. So when this video ends, don't run straight to the next distraction. Sit with yourself for one more minute. Choose your sentence. Choose your scene. Choose one small action you will take in the next 24 hours for the person you are becoming. Your subconscious is listening, and for the first time in a long time, it is finally being led by someone who truly wants you to be well.